Right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Yourstory.com again. And as usual, we bring you the best of startups talking about AI, machine learning, IoT. Here with us is Prabhu Ramachandran. Hi.
Hi.
Prabhu Ramachandran is the founder of Facilio, but he's got something very interesting. I think 17 years in Zoho, managing web NMS, telecom and IoT, very successfully. And there's a lot more to him, I'll tell you. He's one of the few guys who's gone out with an idea and raised money too. We'll talk about that. But Prabhu, tell us, what is Facilio? What does it do?
Yeah. So first of all, thank you, Vishal.
No
thank
problem.
you for inviting me here. Facilio is we are building a software for facilities and sustainability management for buildings.
Okay.
And we use IoT and machine learning to harness the power of existing data within buildings and derive value out of it.
Okay, so a building would be multiple corporate buildings, right? A large facility. It can be plants also.
Yeah. No, we initially we are going after buildings, larger buildings. When I say larger, any building that has a sort of centralized air conditioning.
Okay.
There is a lift, there is a fire safety. That is a size, typically about 30 to 40,000 square feet.
Okay.
And our customers are a typical profile of a customer, or they have multiple buildings. Okay? It could be 5 buildings or 100 buildings.
Okay.
Typically, multiple buildings distributed across cities.
And multiple softwares.
Yes. And
you want to talk about the number of softwares and the confusion that a manager has to face?
Yeah. So if you look at the buildings as a market today, one is from a customer point of view, it is very heavy on both capex and opex. So it takes a lot of money to build or either buy the buildings.
Yes.
And then equally a lot of money to operate the buildings in form of spends on facilities, energy, cleaning, maintenance.
So there's capex and opex.
And the customers of the buildings are also very, very demanding because it is mission critical. So when you are having your building used by say a hospital or a hotel or an office, any outage is critical. So the customers have high opex, high capex, plus demanding customers. And if you look the way the buildings are operated today, because of the buildings, the customer doesn't have like 20 buildings from day one. So they would have built it during a period of 10 years, which means they will have different technologies and different systems.
How many types of technologies and systems? You were telling me that more than 10, 15 at times?
Yes. Typically a large building would have separate systems for say energy management, separate system for HVAC management. Sometimes they are combined as building automation system.
Okay.
And then
they're combined and they're pulling data?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they're pulling data.
Are they pulling data live?
They are pulling data live, but the data sits within the buildings.
Okay.
So
you want to explain that?
Yes.
Why is it a problem, or why is there a lag? It's collected, sitting somewhere. Sometimes people miss out critical information, and that's what you want to solve, right?
Yes. So the buildings have multiple systems. Other systems are like fire safety systems, your lift control systems, your security cameras, access control systems. The list goes on. And these systems are brought from different vendors. And when you have multiple buildings and the fire system in one building could be from one vendor, and the fire system in the next building could be a different vendor because of cost or whatever reasons. Okay. So there is lot of systems with lot of data, valuable data. But one is they don't talk to each other within the buildings.
There you go.
And when you see across buildings, there is no way like you have visibility across buildings. This is one piece of it.
Okay.
And then there are a lot of software being used to run the buildings.
Okay.
Again, separate software for a help desk, separate software to do asset management, analytics.
So you're saying there's a software collecting information.
Yes.
And there's an analytics software also.
Yeah.
So there are several pieces.
Yes. And many of these software, or most of these software, doesn't talk to these systems. They are all standalone software where you give some inputs, it gives an output.
So there's people manually collecting it, shaping it from unstructured to structured format.
True.
Okay. That's the problem.
Yeah, that is a problem. For a building owner, multiple software, multiple systems, multiple buildings, and very stressful environment.
Okay.
And very high on spend. And also, if you look at the facilities team, if there are 1,000 people in a building, you need around 80 to 90 teams to support them. Okay. So in a large building, say if there are 10,000 people, you're going to have close to 800, 900 support staffs. So how do you manage them? How do you make them their life easier? How can you make the support staff themselves smarter? That is the next problem. Okay. So the solution is not piecemeal systems, piecemeal software, even though they are great in technology, but they just solve, like there will be a 11th solution coming into it. So the way we look at it is, from a customer point of view, how can we bring a software blanket across their portfolio of building and make sure the customer gets a real-time, truthful data. They can make better decisions. So they can come out of the firefighting mode and then look at how can I reduce my OPEX, so how can I increase my profit.
Just let me take a step back. Multiple systems, legacy systems sitting all over the place, multiple buildings. So you're stitching all of them together, bringing them to the cloud.
Yes.
That's what you're doing.
Yes.
That's the first step.
Yes. We are stitching the existing automation system, not the software systems.
Right.
In some cases, we can also integrate with that. But our primary focus is how can I stitch all these fire safety, security systems together, and because there is very valuable data into it, and we take the data and using that data, we provide our software intelligence on workforce efficiency, energy and water efficiency, asset life cycle efficiency. 3 aspects.
So that's what you're solving.
Yes.
What are you want to talk to our audience about the amount of money that an average corporate can save? Say it has 1 million square feet. 10 offices across the city. Do you have a number to it? Can you give us some insight into that?
Yeah. So if there is a real-time monitoring of buildings, you can easily save around 30% of energy. So which could be the low-hanging fruit. But it needs a lot of things to happen. So just by analytics, customers cannot save it. That's where we say we don't just stop with analytics. We have the complete workflow from where from an energy anomaly we can create a ticket. We can convert that into work order. It can be assigned to a technician. They can on the spot, like live, they can go and fix the problem. Then we go and verify whether the problem is fixed or not. That is on the energy part. And similarly, if there is an asset, buildings have a lot of both expensive and mission critical assets, like HVAC system, that is a heating, cooling system, or lifts, or power backup system. And if we can increase the life cycle of asset, that affects ROI. So better manage, predictively manage assets, we can go increase the life cycle by say 20 to 25%.
I mean, you seem to be very clear in your thought process. Was that 17 years of working in Zoho and working at telecom and IoT? Is that what makes you understand these problems? Is that something that you'd recommend to younger people watching, that before you go in and solve something, define an hypothesis? You might be proved wrong sometime, but you need to have an objective. And does that objective come with experience?
Yes, experience helps. Where all along, if you look at my Zoho life, so we have been working the WebNMS division. It's more of an enterprise, large-scale, complex software systems. And we had a global business. So that helped. Where how do you go after large problems, large global problems? What is the best way to pick the problem and solve the problem? And using technology as an enabler. So this experience helped us in identifying that there is a huge gap in buildings to come and do a value creation across the globe.
And how do you take the risk? I mean, 17 years of earning a lot of money, and you earn money, and you suddenly take a plunge to entrepreneurship. And you should also tell us that little secret of yours and how you got money in the very first few weeks itself of talking about the idea, right? Let us not mention the investors because it's still under wraps. But how did you manage that, and how do you take that risk? Should young people take that risk also? I mean, a couple of years work experience, come out, have an idea, objective defined. Can they go ahead and raise money?
I didn't see this as really risk. After 17 years of working and having that experience, we shouldn't see that as a risk actually. So we have this, one is we have the knowledge, and there is a global exposure that we already got. And we along with my friends, we started this. So we thought that, so if you look at the Indian software ecosystem, right, it's maybe 25 years old. The software ecosystem is 10-year-old.
Very true.
And we have a 17 years of exposure. How can we create value from that? So that's what made
That's
us
the crux
start
of it.
Okay,
You're confident.
yes. And once we decided to start, then we were very clear on day one on we have to pick a bigger problem. So more than tech, it is the problem that we solve for the customer.
Okay.
Is a problem global, and can we create a quantifiable value to the customers?
So there you go. Before, just to interrupt, I mean, there you have to build for global value and global scale.
Yes.
That's the only reason why investors take you seriously.
Maybe the second part I'm not sure. Right? Okay, but
why aren't you? Why? I mean, come on. You should build for global scale. No, you are looking at a global business, aren't you?
Yes, global is one aspect, but you should go after larger problem. I would say for India, from a startup experience, either global or say it can be specific to Asia itself.
Okay.
If the problem is large enough, where you have enough leeway to experiment, create, and grow into a very large company. Okay. That is the idea.
Okay.
So fortunately, the buildings problem for us is really global.
Okay.
And within building space, APAC is the fastest growing market.
All right.
And across the globe, it's a similar problem. So within buildings, the automation level in different regions is slightly different.
Okay.
But the problem is same.
But the problem remains. Multiple systems, multiple analytics tools, but no one dashboard to find you a real-time solution.
Yes.
Go on.
Yeah. In short, the buildings market is yet to have. It is deprived of software-driven innovation. There is a lot of innovation on, say, construction materials, sensings, and things like that.
Sensors and all that. Yes.
But on the software side, does the buildings have great software-driven?
They don't. You don't see that.
That is very little to it.
Why do you think? I mean, I meet a lot of these IoT companies. You know, they say real-time data from machines, real-time data from construction material, like you said, reduce wastage. But you're saying IoT is just a part of the whole thing, and you've always maintained that. Why? And maybe we could segue into why IoT startups have not yet scaled in India.
Yeah. So the way we have to look at it is, see IoT as an enabler. It's a tech which will enable. Customers are not buying IoT. Customers buy business software. Customers buy CRM. Customers buy help desk software. Customers buy ERP systems.
Right.
And can you build an IoT based, say, ERP or help desk software, which adds more value to the customer, which will differentiate you? That should be the key. So if you have a very good IoT knowledge, maybe it could be a sensor or it could be a mix of software and analytics, but that is only one piece of it.
All right.
We have to think hard on how can you take it and apply it on a large market where there is a global audience and we can really create quick value to the customer.
Okay, and when you say value, is it in terms of the software value that you bring in? Do you want to tell our audience what kind of languages have you written your software on? Is it people talk about Python and R? Yesterday we had a couple of ladies who spoke about AI and why it's making a huge impact. And you also mentioned earlier that it is going to impact lives, and it is a reality that we have to get used to. What languages did you build your software on?
Yeah, on the value part, the value is basically why should customer pay for this?
Correct, exactly. That's the crux of the whole thing.
Yes.
If somebody is not willing to pay for your project, then you're finished.
And that too within B2B, customers have predefined budgets. So we'll have to understand that.
Okay.
So if it is a consumer, if it gives some pleasure to me or it gives some
a lot of pleasure giving B2C tools out there.
So that is driven by individuals. But the moment you go to B2B, right, there is a budget. There is no one person deciding on paying, even if there is a owner. There is a team that decides and they have a predefined budget, they have their own constraints.
How stingy are they to budgets before we get onto the software part again?
So it's all value driven. So if you can save money on X dollar, then you are going to take a $5.
Do you get paid for your pilots? Do you ask money?
Some of the pilots, yes.
So there you go. You have to ask money. I reiterate this all the time. If you're doing a pilot in India, don't say I'll do it for free and then sign me on. You charge for delivering outcomes. Would you say go do it?
Yeah, particularly on the latest tech bus based pilots, like IoT or a blockchain kind of thing. It is better we take some commitment from customer. Either in form of money or in form of their dedicated time on how much they invest on this. It could be time or it could be money.
How many of them have paid you on your outcomes? You've delivered value, and would you say that sign me up, or if you're not signing up with me, you pay me for the outcome that I've given you in the pilot? Do you say that?
See, usually in the pilot's case, it could be like, because it's a pilot, you cannot retrospectively ask customer to pay. We can do a paid pilot, but after the pilot, I added maybe 2 months of value. Can you pay?
Exactly. Exactly. You can ask for that, right?
It depends on like what value. Yeah.
But it's a bargaining thing in there. Okay, let's get back to the software. What are you building it on? R or Python? That's the data piece. Are you building it on those tools, or are you building it on Java? Because he comes from the Zoho school of thought. Yep. They don't believe in dynamic software. They believe in static software. Yeah. What do you believe in?
So we have a mix of stack actually. So again, it's proven Java. A lot of things
there
are
you
based
go.
on Java. And then we on the website we use Ember, standard JSP kind of technologies. So proven one. On the mobile, we're using a mix of progressive web app. Some of our apps are based on native, but some of our apps are based on the progressive web app technology. So it's a mix of what works for us.
And what data libraries do you use?
We are currently based on like standard MySQL at this stage.
MySQL? Yeah. Because it's structured data?
At this stage.
Okay.
So as we scale, we may have to move into
other nodes.
time series database.
So when somebody, young people watching this again want to know, do I test my software on different standards of languages, or would you say that just focus on one, be good at that?
Focus on customer's problem.
That's it.
That's it. So at the early stage, first stage is validation of idea with a customer. Can you get 5 customers who are willing to pay for it?
Right.
We are not worrying too much about which tech and all those things. How can we solve the customer's problem?
All right.
Whether it is Java is the best thing, you do it. Or Python is the best thing, you do it.
Okay.
That's how I see it.
So there's no constraint there.
Yeah.
So that's the global thing. You go anywhere, people are just going to say, what value do you bring to the table? They're not worried about the tech.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, but as an organization, the moment you start growing, then you need to think about from 5 to 500 customers. How do you make sure, like how we are engineering efficient? Okay. How we are really scalable? How can we grow things like multilingual? And so that is something you have to start thinking after you go to a set of.
Is raising money still a problem in this country? Should they bet on ideas like yours for the long run, which people will do for you, which they have already? But do you think for others, if they've defined problems, they have to go to strategic investors, or should they go to VCs?
So I'm a first-time founder. In fact, I spent very less time on raising the money itself. So with that little experience, I would say if we can clearly have a thought process on who's the customer, what is the problem we are going to solve, and if we solve this problem, say in one region or globally, you have a visibility into what is a market size, how much of money you can make. Assume you take a 2% of the market share.
Right.
What is the potential of money? And that is one aspect. And then on the business aspect, how we are going to sell directly or through online or through channel. If an entrepreneur has a visibility into this, there is a lot of positive thing you get from it.
Are you going to go through channel partners?
Yes, we are heavily on channel.
Software, right? Software channel partners.
Software and also building systems channel partners.
And you already have leads from Europe and the Middle East?
We are currently focusing on Middle East, India and US.
Okay. My last thoughts are always on talent in India and what kind of people you're hiring. Obviously, you're going to grow. What kind of talent are you hiring? People are questioning me whether it's AI and ML, machine learning and artificial intelligence. Is that the talent you're looking for? What kind of talent are you looking for?
So again, AI ML is one piece of the whole solution. If you just have AI and ML, it excites customer, but still you have to see why should customer pay for it. That's a big question. So in that sense, when you are building B2B software, right, today a major part is the regular mundane software that you are doing. So either Java or C or whatever it is, you need to have the business application. And then you can think about how do I apply AI into it, because you need data to it. That's a right way of building, particularly B2B. That's how I see it. So in case of talents, nothing very specific on. We are not looking at this person is very good in AI.
If they have to apply for you, which website should they come to?
So currently we are very small. So
okay, is it facilio.in or .com?
.com.
.com?
Yeah.
So that's where they come and apply? Is there a careers page?
Yes.
There is?
Yes.
So they can apply?
Yes.
Yeah, you should then go apply. But
so currently we are taking a lot of interns actually.
Okay.
So we are in a stage where we are seeing traction. We'll soon expand, but currently we are looking.
Okay. My last question: you're going to scale up stack-wise like a Zoho, get into a product, then offer multiple services in a company. Is that what you're going to do?
Yeah. So we are going after buildings as a market. Buildings has like the software stack that buildings need today.
Yeah.
It's a huge one. Okay. So broadly into sustainability, maintenance, property management, real estate management.
How big would it be? 70,000 crores in India? How big is the market?
India number I really don't
it's
have
huge,
a specific India number. But even today the building software market is around 30 billion today.
30 billion globally. So that's the market you're after.
That's the size, and it's going to double up in another few years. So that's a market we are going after. But what we do will actually expand even that. So we are doing much more than what the traditional software are doing. So our scope will expand. So the facility spend alone today is around 1.3 trillion
globally.
Facility services
in
spend.
USD.
Yeah. And if you look at the energy spent from buildings in US alone is around 400 billion. Okay?
All right.
Any value or any efficiency you can bring there is huge. Okay? These are untapped markets. So when we start doing this, so even this 30 billion to 60 billion is going to increase a lot.
So there you have it. That's Prabhu Ramachandran. Clearly says that you got to focus on the business objective. The technology is just an engine. That's your cup of tea. But solve a corporate's problems, and then they'll pay you the dollars. And again, I reiterate, ask money for your pilot if you've generated outcomes. Again, I'll see you next week. This is Vishal Krishna saying bye. And this is Mr. Prabhu Ramachandran. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Bye. See you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.